to recreate my recent youth in an unscripted but beautifully crafted cameo role.
Action!
The Cadillacs are here. Polly's talking to them outside.
Make sure you get their full names and addresses on the contracts before they sign them.
Of course. Mr. Schneider and Mr. Green are ready to see you now.
Well, I've just got one line in this scene after all that, and I hope I get it right, because tonight, Toyah Willcox, this is your life.
Oh, wow. I don't know what to say. I've been taking the mickey out of them all day.
Oh, well, you just said wow, and I didn't think you'd say wow, somehow. There we are.
You're lucky.
You know, you've been sold down the river so that I can take you down the river to our studios in Teddington this very night to tell your story. All right?
Oh, dear. Have you found any friends?
Well, we found out quite a lot, I can tell you that. That was a very ladylike response in that film set, I must say.
I've been completely stitched up. This is amazing.
Well, we have more surprises for you here. All these cheerful faces will be very familiar to you. Friends from your home in Salisbury, former members of your band. We have directors, designers, and perhaps, most important of all, your current hairdresser. Did you like your look for the 60s?
Oh, yes, I love it. It suits my age at the moment, the mature look.
Well, most people recognise you like this, setting the style for the 80s with outrageous images as you top the charts. It looks quite gentle, really, from this distance, but while you carved your name as the Scarlet Woman of Rock, your husband did it his way with a band called King Crimson. Now, he's been away on a 6-week tour of Europe. Where should he be tonight?
He told me he was in Germany.
More deception, I'm afraid. He is here, of course, your husband, Robert Fripp. Now, Robert, Toyah's meeting with the Crimson King was, in fact, by royal appointment, wasn't it?
Yes, we met at a charity lunch in 1983, and I was standing with Princess Michael of Kent and Toyah, and the national press began to descend. And I knew they had no interest at all in me, so I moved away. And Princess Michael's hand extended, seized my right shoulder, and pulled me back into the photograph, which appeared the following day in the Daily Express with me cut off.
Well, despite you being cut off in your prime, you and Toyah became close, and you marry on May the 16th, 1986. A copy of that fateful photograph of your first meeting could be found on your fridge, but now it's got a private place somewhere else, Toyah.
It's above our bed.
And it's not the only picture there, is it, Robert?
No, on the bedside table is a picture of Toyah with Sir Laurence Olivier that she put there on the day that he died.
You worked with him on Ebony Tower,
Yes.
didn't you? He was very important to you.
Oh, he was divine. He was very special, very sweet.
But he was also ill, wasn't he, at that time?
He was very ill, but we knew he was ill, so we worked around him, and he was still so special and so strong.
Well, here's a reminder of that production.
It's time for a siesta.
Well, your performance pleased the critics, and watching you at home like the rest of us was an actor who's appearing at the National Theatre tonight, star of Jewel in the Crown and the Chief, Tim Pigott-Smith. Toyah, I first saw you acting in a television production of the Ebony Tower with Laurence Olivier, which I enjoyed very much. When I had my company, Compass, we were about to do Amadeus, and I heard that you were interested in more serious acting, so I got in touch with you. I was very impressed when I met you, and so was Peter Schaffer, the writer, and you won the part of Constanza, and you were terrific in the part. It was great fun working with you. But more impressive, in a way, was while we were on the road, my company used to do work in prisons, and at your behest, we commissioned a show about the life of Janis Joplin. You performed in it in 7 prisons, I think, as we went round the country, having rehearsed it entirely on the road at the same time as performing. It was typical of your kind of commitment. Maybe it's why you've been so successful in everything you've undertaken. I'm thrilled to have worked with you. I'm thrilled for your success, and I wish I was with you. Have a great evening. Thank you, Tim. In 1979, you appear in the controversial film version of The Who's rock opera, Quadrophenia. Like the film you're working on now, it recreated the 60s of your childhood, and it focused on battling modern rockers.
And I think you could have taken them all on and won.
These days, she's quite used to men behaving badly. Leslie Ash. So you work together on Quadrophenia, and Toyah can look after herself.
Yes, well, we worked together twice, in fact. First time we worked on the hit film Quadrophenia, and the second time we worked together was on a major disaster film, Murder, the ultimate grounds for divorce. But nevertheless, working with Toyah, we had a great time. But my favourite Toyah story that I've ever heard is when she was topping the charts and she actually swung from a chandelier over a hotel stairway. And when she told her husband Robert this, he said, "Oh, what, was it just the first floor?" And she said, "Oh, no, it was the 4th floor." So that just goes to prove it's not just men who behave badly.
A real swinger. Thank you very much, Leslie. So, Toyah Ann Willcox, this is your life. You were born at home in Kings Heath, South Birmingham, on May the 18th, 1958. That's you doing an early rendition of your future hit, I Want to Be Free. You're the youngest of 3 children and always the rebel of the family.
Yes, we'd like to thank Robert for taking Toyah off our hands.
Isn't that nice? The Willcox Band, your father, Beric, your mother, Barbara, and with them, your brother, Kim, his wife, Chris, your nephew, Toby, your sister, Nicola, and her husband, Frank. Well, that's the family register complete, but Barbara, where did you find the name Toyah?
Oh, I found Toyah's name many years ago when I was 15 reading a book about a ballerina named Toyah. So I saved it up here.
Right. Now, you were a dancer once yourself,
Yes.
but it was obvious from the day that she was born that being a dancer was not in the future really for young Toyah.
No.
It was a worrying time.
Yes, it was. Toyah was born with one foot slightly larger than the other and a slightly bent leg, and she spent the first 6 weeks of her life in plaster. But she got over it. But I have to tell you, when she first started to walk, I had to buy 2 pairs of shoes at a time so that she had shoes which would fit her. But by the time she was 7,
I can remember that. I can remember always going into the shoe shop and poor old mum having to come out with 2 pairs of shoes because they don't sell odd shoes.
Well, they didn't.
Well, I know somebody who does. Anyway, in spite of all those problems, it's age 4 that you join the juniors of the all-girl Edgbaston Church of England College. There you show talent as an artist. Now, here's an example of your work, and your creativity in another area proves an education for fellow pupils and teachers, as we found out on a secret visit to your old school. We met your art mistress of more than 20 years ago, Karen Howell.
Hello, Toyah. Here we are in one of your favourite lessons, art. You're always very keen on that, and I thought that you'd be ideal to help with the school production for the younger children. That was before you found a talent for performing yourself on the stage here. I wanted you to help with the makeup for our production of Hansel and Gretel. Little did I know what to expect. He set to work with makeup and comb on the little witches for the show. He really got stuck in, and we were certainly amazed at the outcome, which gave us some hint of what was to come when you became a star. Well, as they looked like you, they'd also like to try their own version of one of your biggest hits. The lyrics are apt.
Like something from The Wizard of Oz. Your teacher thought she'd dash down from Birmingham to catch up with you in person. Karen Howell. Now, taking part in school plays fires your ambition. At the age of 14, you auditioned for the Birmingham Old Rep Theatre School and win a place on weekend classes. This was something new for the Willcox family, Kim?
Yes. Our mother had left the stage when she married Dad. He had a building business. I was training as a pilot in the RAF, and Nicky was working for the health services. Mum always told us Toyah was different.
Well, that difference became apparent, as we can see. Several years before the punk revolution, your clothes and hairstyles took the Birmingham club scene by storm. One bit of self-expression was to wear your clothes back to front. At least you could see where you'd been.
But you got yourself into a tight spot when you tried chains and padlocks for size.
Sounds a bit medieval. With the story, your teenage mate, Bina Jairaj. Bina, be open about this.
This girl was always so beautiful. We used to go out every Friday, Saturday and Sunday night, and the whole of Birmingham would just stop at how beautiful she was. And there was fat old me kind of dragging along behind her.
Is that what you were going to say, Bina? What's your story?
Well, my story is we used to love to pose, didn't we? We used to dress up, and there was a time you got into hair colouring.
Yes.
I went to a salon called Rackham's, and the hairdresser there was so taken up with your look that he wanted you to model for him. So there was one occasion when you wore this outfit that included padlocks and chains, but you lost the key. So they had to work through the night trying to get these chains and padlocks off.
Well, you did it eventually, and that was 20 years ago. And we've unleashed that hairdresser who helped create your new look, Derek Goddard. So, Derek, Toyah really was a fashion victim.
Oh, yes, she certainly was. I think she was the most original first.
Can I just say, Mum, this is the man that shaved the back of my head when I came home and you were in tears. I don't think you ever met.
Yes,
this is Derek. This is.
Do you want to hit him now or later?
Hit me earlier.
Oh, nice. That's nice. Thank you, Derek, and thank you, Bina.
See you.
At 17, you start a full-time drama course at Birmingham, and you pick up tips from the stars appearing there. Among them was the cast of a stage version of one of TV's most popular comedy shows, Dad's Army.
Whistle while you work, Hitler is at work. He's up army, so's his army, whistle while you...
Your name will also go on the list. What is it?
Don't tell him, Pike.
Pike.
Well, one night in Birmingham, you catch out a private on parade in more ways than one. He is about to go on stage again tonight, but he has something to say to you. Ian Lavender.
Hello, Toyah. Do you remember when we first met about 5 years ago? We were doing Cluedo for Granada. You were playing Miss Scarlet, I was playing Professor Plum. Well, you managed that day to turn a 45-year-old man back into a stupid boy all over again. As I say, we were doing Cluedo, and you managed to turn a who's done it into a who's seen it. I thought we'd never met before, but you came up as bold as brass and announced to me and everybody who could hear that you'd seen everything I'd got. We were in Birmingham at the Hippodrome. We were there for 5, 6 weeks, I believe. Well, I remember that perfectly well because it's my hometown as well, Birmingham. And then you told me that you had been my dresser. This shaded it somewhat. It didn't matter that you'd seen. But there's not many people who can say, and I am going to say it, that they've seen Private Pike's Privates. The whole thing was made a bit better that evening when I went home. And I told my sons this story in our little brief history. And thanks to you, my street cred went up several notches that night. I wonder who my dresser this time will turn out to be. Somebody like you, I hope. Have a wonderful time. I must go. And no, I'm sorry. No. Not even for street cred.
Thank you, Ian. Anyway, in your first year as a student, you auditioned for the creator of a BBC production. He'd been searching for someone to star in his musical, and from hundreds of hopefuls, he picked you. The TV break was Glitter. Sadly, no official copies of the show survive, but we have tracked one down from a private collection. Here you are in June 1975, your first ever TV role.
I want to be so famous that I'm a household name all over the world.
While I was looking in the mirror.
Oh, no. Turn it off.
To see what I could see. I saw somebody drowning. Could it be the real me?
Oh!
Well, not surprisingly, Glitter was to change your life. It catches the attention of the National Theatre. You up sticks and you head for London. But Barbara, Toyah soon found out that the streets were not paved with gold.
No, they were not. Manny was very, very short. She suffered quite a bit. But father to the rescue, he used to travel to London, boxes of food and £5 notes, didn't he?
Oh, I'd go and sign on the dole and I'd miss Dad and there'd be a little fiver sticking through the letterbox.
I also used to bring you tins of peas,
corned beef,
all that sort of, and carrots.
Yes.
And you used to open it in front of me and eat them raw.
Obviously the recipe for success, because you win a part in Derek Jarman's 1977 celebration of punk Britain, Jubilee. You play a punkette pyromaniac called Mad.
All right, girls. The world is no longer interested in heroes. So sad. We now know too much about them, don't we? Do you know any real heroes? No, I don't.
Later, you play Miranda in Jarman's version of The Tempest, and you win a Best Newcomer nomination at the Evening Standard Film Awards. You also appeared with Katharine Hepburn in The Corn is Green. Established as an actress, you decide to make your name as a singer. With a group of friends, you form a band and you win your first record deal. In 1979, your debut single, Victims of the Riddle, tops the independent chart for almost a year. Within 18 months, you break into mainstream music. Your album, Anthem, goes platinum. Your image is ideal for the video age, but even stars can sometimes have a rough ride.
Our horse trial saddled you with a real problem.
Formerly with 10cc and Godley and Cream, Kevin Godley. Kevin, hi. You have the reins.
Yes, we were due to do a video called Thunder in the Mountains, am I right? And it's centered on Toyah as this mad warrior priestess character, a bit Boadicea-like. You had to ride a horse-drawn chariot across the countryside and through underground car parks and stuff. And we arrived on the set that day to be told that Toyah was petrified of horses, as I recall.
Still am.
Yes. So what do? We sit around and scratch our heads. What are we going to do about this? Toyah disappears with a horse trainer and comes back an hour later like Ben-Hur.
Kevin, thank you very much.
I'll never forget that. Good to see you.
Well, you're very game because you face a few more perils when you play, of all things, a wrestler in the stage play Trafford Tansy. You also toured with the legendary Beach Boys, fronting the band Girls' School, who are here tonight. Back home, you're a TV regular, presenting with, among others, Michael Groff. And recently, you're team captain on the pop panel game Roll With It. The opposing skipper is another hero of Birmingham. When you first danced to his music as a teenager, he dominated the charts like this. The gentle sounds of Slade, and here is a warm message for you from Noddy Holder.
What more can I say about you, Toyah? You're an actress, a singer, a dancer, a producer, a TV presenter. Oh, you do loads of things. And nobody likes a clever dick, Toyah, do they? Nobody does. I had a great time when we did Roll With It. 15 shows of musical quiz stuff. And you made some great records in your time. I used to go all funny when you used to sing It's a Mystery. My favourite. Have a fabulous time tonight, Toyah. A real great time. Don't get too drunk, because you know what you like when you've had a drink. I'll see you very soon. Love to Robert. Keep on rocking.
Thank you, Noddy. Well, now back to the heart of the matter. Your romance with Robert blossoms when together you wrote a song called Freedom.
Marry rules, marry names, marry food. Running out of time. My eyes on freedom.
And Robert, that music really did come from the heart.
I fell in love with my little wife when she sang that, and I haven't fallen out of love with her since.
Oh, sweetheart, I love you.
Well, there isn't quite enough sweet music in 1987 when you starred in the West End as Sally Bowles in Cabaret, as your co-star will explain. Welcome and bienvenue to Wayne Sleep. Hi, Wayne. Sorry, it was all quiet on the West End front, wasn't
Well,
it?
not exactly, was it?
No, it was terrifying.
Yes, I know. There was a dispute with the musicians, and from all accounts, they stood at the stage door every night with banners saying, don't go on to the company every night.
Yes.
It was really bad, wasn't it?
And Gillian Lynn, who directed this production, made us go on without the orchestra, and if you can imagine just standing there with everyone in the company just clicking their fingers to keep you in time.
That's right,
And you're just singing a song with nothing there.
A whole evening.
Yeah.
A whole evening.
Well, Toyah's such a troupe, you see, that, you know, the show must go on.
Oh, I was
And she led the
dying.
company, and quite frankly, I think it must have been the first time in the history of the West End a musical's been performed without a band in the pit. You've got a standing ovation, darling, which you deserve, because you're a true professional. I love you.
Thank you, Wayne. On your toes. Now, like most performers, you support a number of good causes, including St Piers, Lingfield in Surrey, a school for epileptic youngsters. Now, as it happens, your brother-in-law, Frank Bizag, is medical director there. And, Frank, you're grateful for Toyah's efforts.
Absolutely wonderful. Toyah mirrors the spirit of St Piers, Lingfield, achieving against the odds. Just terrific. Thanks, Toyah.
Well, with every challenge you face, you win new fans. And here's another, the brilliant Ron Moody.
Do you remember when we first met, darling?
I do.
It was in the photo call. And there you were, dressed as Peter Pan, hanging horizontally from a wire.
And that's when we did Peter Pan together.
It was wonderful.
Well, I've done it 6 times now, and it might interest you to know that every Peter I work with has been different. I mean, Julia Lockwood believed everything was real. She thought it was all true. Dorothy Tootin thought William Shakespeare wrote it. Susanna York was as wicked as I was, but then there was you. Now, you came out, you were a right little Peter. You came out, no holds barred, no quarter given, no wonder the hook says, Pan, who and what art thou? It was a dynamic performance. Those eyes staring at me. Great eyes. And I'm very happy to be here this evening to share this moment with you and to testify to the multiplicity of your aesthetic diversity. And I choose my words carefully, even though I don't know what they mean.
Neither do I.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. For Toyah, with most successful careers, there is a crucial turning point. Yours came when you were just another drama student. The producer chose you from hundreds of other hopefuls to star in his TV play. It was to shape your future. And he is here tonight, the man who gave you that vital break 21 years ago, Tony Beaker.
I don't know why you employed me. I was so fat and terrible. I mean, the clip we've just seen was terrifying.
Were you looking for a fat and terrible person, Tony?
Yes, we were,
actually.
actually. That's what we were after. No, what happened was that I'd seen hundreds and hundreds of young actors, and Toyah was... and then I heard about Toyah, and I saw her at the School of Drama, and she was terrific. But I didn't know if she could sing, and so she came to the singing audition. She said she'd done a bit of singing. She came to the singing audition. Most people do something simple, but not Toyah. She came in on these platforms and slammed down on the piano the music of Space Oddity by David Bowie. Pianist turned white, you know, sight readers. Toyah sang it all the way through brilliantly, and she got the part. You were terrific, and it was
well, thank you.
Really
without
wonderful.
you, I wouldn't be here, so thank you
Well,
very
I'm glad
much.
you
And without
played-
Mum and Dad, I wouldn't be here.
What about that? I'm glad you played a small part, and I'm terrifically pleased with everything you've done since. It's wonderful.
Thank you. Toyah Willcox, this, so far, is your life.
Oh, excellent.